welcome back to Shock's Talks. I'm Shakti, and today is going to be a quick episode about my current OBE practice and all that I'm doing to try to begin my hopefully lifelong journey of having hundreds, if not thousands, of at will, out of body experiences like so many people are doing right now. So, if you're looking at me wondering, Shakti, did you get abducted by a UFO and that's why you're all red because the radiation left you with some kind of a crazy burn? Well, sadly, no, I did not get abducted. I kind of fell asleep on the beach the other day and got a wicked bad sunburn. So, if you can see the little pink reindeer Rudolph nose that I've got going on, that's what that's about. And it hurts, and I'm sad that I did that to myself. It was just so nice to be out there. It felt so good. I've always been a sun worshiper, and I love to just lizard out and just soak it all up. And it was one of those sneaker burns where you get home, you look fine, and then a couple hours later it sets in, and I was just, oh, I'm all pink all over my chest and everything. It's horrible. So I'm laying low, recovering from that, recovering from this sickness that I've been going through, and life is relentless. I'm sure you're feeling it too. It's just hard. We're all doing the best we can to get through every single day, to do our jobs, to show up for the people around us, to take care of our bodies, to take care of our pets and the places where we're living, and to actually try to bring in these extracurricular activities and develop these really special skill sets requires time and energy and discipline also. And so it's a lot to balance. And making this channel is just my way of showing up for myself and hopefully inspiring you to do the same. So here we are today, and I'm going to let you know about all that I'm doing to work towards my out of body experiences. So last time we met, and the last couple episodes, I believe I've mentioned the Nancy Trivolato book that I'm reading. This is Vibrational State and Energy Resonance. This is the book. And this is a big book, as you can tell. It's very technical. So I'm moving very slowly through that book. But I learned about this through basically one thing led to another. I was reading Luis Minero's book, Demystifying the Out of Body Experience, and then I discovered these other researchers that come from that same school of thinking, and Nancy Trivolato is one of them. And I'm still working with another branch of that same group doing my energy practices. I meet with them once every month or so, and I've been doing that for a couple of years now. And I've been curious about and interested in having an out of body experience myself ever since discovering the work of people like Robert Monroe, Carlos Castaneda, and Thomas Campbell. And it's taken me years and years and years of reading and research to finally get to the point where I feel like, okay, I got to do this now. There's no more messing around, whatever it takes. And so the intensity of my desire is building, and that means that I'm more serious about doing the things I need to do to make it happen. And it's a long journey, but it's worth it to me. And what happens is when you first start practicing or trying, some people have spontaneous experiences, some people are just naturals, some people it just starts happening and then it keeps on happening. And for others, it takes a lot more effort. And for whatever reason, I'm one of those. So hopefully I'll get there, and all of us who want to, will be able to do this. And it seems like more and more people are learning these skills. So there are these schools on the internet, like, for example, Darius J. Wright has a whole body of work he calls The Great Work, and he's been training hundreds of people. There are other teachers, like I believe one is called Corey Brandon, and one is called Alchemist 369, and then there's the channel from Emma Out of Body Stories, where she's just interviewing people, and you just hear all these stories of all these people learning how to do this thing. And it's really, really cool. I watched an episode recently where she had a guest on, a young man, I believe, called Kalen. And I reached out to him via email and I asked him a couple questions because we connected on Instagram, and he said I could email him. So on my next episode, I will let you know his responses to those questions if he's able to do that. And I also reached out to Preston Dennett, who is a famous UFO researcher. He's just a dedicated researcher who does an excellent job at just letting people know what these stories are. And he just reports very clearly and concisely on different contact and abduction stories. He also is a UFO historian. He's written, I believe, over 30 books. And he was recently talking about his own out of body travels, which I was amazed to find out that he's an out of body traveler. So for me, the fact that a UFO researcher who also has out of body experiences, who also studies contact and abduction, is a treasure, like a treasure trove, because my main curiosity right now is, are all of these anomalous experiences just consciousness phenomena? And obviously, if you really pare it all down, everything is consciousness phenomena. Everything we're experiencing now is just consciousness phenomena. So, in that sense, yes, all of it is. But also, we have this consensus reality that we can more or less agree upon. We share a lot of commonalities. And of course, there's a lot that we're all experiencing that's unique to our own personal filter, to our own bias and perspective. We have different levels of abilities, we have different senses. Some of us have extra senses. Different senses are tuned to different levels. So there's all kinds of variables. But what I've been wondering is whether or not there are physical aliens visiting us from physical matter reality, or if all of the alien phenomena is more along the lines of entities that people encounter in out of body experiences, or the third combo being like it's both, because you have your physical aliens, but they've also learned to access their consciousness abilities, so therefore they can contact us non-physically through these means, which are also available to us, but we just have to cultivate them. So in order to get those answers for myself, I have to become a traveler. So what I'm doing right now, oh, I also wanted to share that a friend of mine gave me this book, which is on, I guess it's called Ekankar, um, a religion that deals in this type of topic. And it's kind of new to me. I actually didn't know much about this. So it's all about dreams and dreaming, and has a lot of similarities to like the realms and the levels and the types of things that people are describing who independently go out of body. And then this is the book that I ordered from Preston Dennett, Out of Body Exploring, a Beginner's Approach. And so far, he's mostly sharing his experiences, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So, as you can tell, I'm deep in my research, but what am I doing practically to try to make this happen? Well, like I said before, it's hard. We only have so many hours in the day. So, what I'm learning, though, that excites me is that a lot of travelers are traveling at night. And it's easy to be like, well, that's just dreaming, or that's just lucid dreaming. And maybe it is. Maybe it's just this gradient of experience, and maybe it's all the same thing. And we're all just getting hung up on what we call these different things. But from what I gather from all these stories that I'm collecting, it's the quality of the experience that feels so different from the other types of experiences, which then gets it its name. So, for example, waking reality, most of us can agree that like waking reality is quite different from dreaming. And for some people, those lines are more blurred, especially maybe lucid dreamers, or people that have done a lot of psychedelics, or people that are psychic and see visions and hear things in waking life. Life starts to feel more dream life like. So it's definitely on a gradient, but for the most part, we can agree that our waking experience is one type of experience. When you close your eyes and visualize, that's another type of experience, like meditation and visualization. Even within that, you have differences. Some people don't really see things, they just conceive of them, they feel them, they know them, but they don't visually render in their mind's eye. Some of those people that don't visually render in their mind's eye can still have full on out of body experiences where they see everything. And I found that interesting because I'm not much of a visualizer myself, but once in a while I'll get something. When you go into a lucid dream, it's when you gain awareness and are able to affect the reality of the dream. And then the out of body experience, most people call it realer than real. So they say that that type of experience has a specific quality of being so, so realistic that it's like undeniable and it feels different from everything else. And of course, there is the classic experience of turning back and looking at your body that a lot of people have, but not everyone has. Some people go out of body and they're just a ball of awareness. Some people go out and they see their reflection in mirrors. Some people go out of body and they're able to travel around this world out of body and see things that actually exist in this world. Others travel to different realms or dimensions. And the real scientists of out of body, those who experience out of body and practice for years and years, decades and decades, they try to do it all. And a lot of these young independent researchers and just people out there who are having these experiences are doing the same thing. They start off just exploring around their house usually. Then they go out into their neighborhoods and fly around, and then they go beyond, and then they start visiting these other realms, and a lot of them are visiting the same places. And this is where it gets interesting to me, because in order for us to understand, we know that in dreams, we're mostly dealing with our own inner world. And this is why I really appreciate the work of Nancy Trivolato, and all of the others like her who are trying to categorize these different levels of experience scientifically. It's helpful to understand that the whole reality, all of it, the whole entire spectrum, the whole gradient is made up of these thought forms and energy forms. And so when you first exit out, from what I'm learning, you're often just going into your own sort of thought world. It's like your own aura or your own subconscious, and that's what the dreaming level is. So you're kind of just in that psychic mush of all the stuff that is just part of you, and that's what you're experiencing. And sometimes other things will come into that, other entities, other beings can enter into your space, and you can also receive real information that applies to waking life in that space. And that's why dream analysis is so useful. And then going beyond that, you're going out into other layers of reality. So what Preston recommended to me, because he did email me back, which was really cool too. I always feel so happy when people are like, yes, you can do this. Here's my tips, and here's some information, and here's this little attachment, my pamphlet about this. And then I responded, and he responded back again. And I thought that was so nice. So he was very encouraging. You can do this. Anyone can do this. It always helps me to hear that, because sometimes I think, oh, it's like, I've heard these metaphors like it's like being a martial artist. Some people can go and take a karate class, but somebody else is going to be a black belt, or music or dance or anything like that. But actually, this seems even more easy than that in some ways. People are really talking about it now and saying, you know what? This is a normal human thing. We can all do this, and we do it every single night. We just don't have the recall of what's going on for the most part, just like how most people don't remember their dreams. So step one, and this is where the discipline comes in, is writing down your dreams. I've been doing this for 18 days now. I'm telling you, it is a pain in the ass. I don't love it, because right when I wake up, it starts slipping away. So I have to immediately grab my phone. I record the dream, an audio recording, and then I fall back asleep. And then when I wake up, I've totally forgotten it. Usually I've forgotten what I dreamt, but I go back to the recording, listen to it, copy and paste the transcript into an email it to myself, copy and paste that into my digital journal space, categorize it, write down the date, edit out all the timestamps, fix all the weird errors because the transcript is always funky. So it's like a little bit of work, as you can tell. And then I take out the themes and symbols. And then at the end of the first 9 days, I kind of wrote down every theme, all the themes and symbols from all the dreams and then which ones were repeating. So I saw things like there's always water, there's a lot of travel in my dreams, there's a lot of friends and family, things that relate to me. I'm definitely in my own thought bubble right now, experiencing these little journeys every night, but it's in my own psychic subconscious space. And I did that for another 9 days, and I just did that summary today for myself. So basically, what I'm learning is that I'm hovering around when I go out of body. I'm very much staying close to myself. And what I'm excited to do is go beyond myself a little further. So, right now, I would consider these dreams or astral dreams, maybe because sometimes they feel a little more vivid than just typical dreams. But I don't think they're full blown. They don't feel like full blown out of body experiences yet because I'm not having that lucidity. I'm not having that continuous consciousness experience that people describe. I don't think it's realer than real unless it is, and then I'm forgetting it. But when I wake up and remember it, I'm not remembering it as if it was part of my waking life. So I think I'm still in the dreaming realm, but I'm not going to be too harsh with myself. I'm just going to keep encouraging myself to move forward and say it's okay, like you're working your way up and out and you're going to get there. So that's what I've been up to this week: healing, dreaming, writing, researching, reading, and trying to do my day job. Like we're all trying to make a living and take care of our responsibilities. So I feel that this is possible. I feel that I'm closer than ever in the sense that my desire is building and my commitment to the practice is strengthening. So I will definitely keep you guys posted. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. I know that this channel is simple and straightforward, and there's a lot of other flashy stuff going on out there. And especially when it comes to the UFO UAP topic, it's just this never ending whiplash experience. And I'm just kind of getting sick of it. I love the topic. I love keeping an eye on things. I don't want to get caught up in the drama. I don't really care. He said, she said, this, that, blah, 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 like all the little squabbling that goes on. What I'm more interested in is the big picture. And there's enough information out there for me to feel confident in knowing that yes, governments have been hiding things. Yes, a crash retrieval program is real. Yes, reverse engineering is real. Yes, we have advanced technology. Yes, we have alien biologics. Yes, we have collaborated with non human intelligence. Yes, angels and demons are part of the conversation, but they might be a different phenomena from the ET phenomena. Yes, there are interdimensional beings. Yes, CERN is probably opening portals. Yes, experiencers are all across the globe, and there are many commonalities in the stories that they share. Yes, hybridization is probable, and it is even possible that many of us humans have genetically manipulated DNA or whatever, like we've been altered in some way, shape, or form. And still we have to wake up and do life. So it's not that it doesn't matter. It's just that we just have to figure out what matters to me. Like, what is my soul's purpose? What am I really doing here? And knowing these things is interesting, but knowing myself is more interesting. And knowing my capabilities and developing them is the most exciting thing to me. So that's what I'm focused on right now. It's all about the psi abilities right now. I turned down an opportunity to do an interview where I share about my experiences because my intuition just kicked in and I got this feeling that, like, you know what? I don't even want to talk. Like, I've talked about a lot of my experiences with a lot of my friends, and I've written about them for myself, and I've tried to understand, but it's like this tangled knot and I can't quite untangle it. And I don't have the clarity or the confidence to just say, this is what happened and I know exactly what happened. Like some people do, and that's awesome. And I wish I felt that way, but I don't feel that way. I still feel like it could have been this, it could have been that, this could have been going on, these two things could have simultaneously been happening. It's very, very muddy for me. And I'm afraid that if I start going out and about and talking about those stories with some kind of sense of clarity, it will solidify for me and I will no longer be able to continue uncovering what's true. Like if I just say one story, it kind of becomes that, but it might be something different if that makes sense. So I just decided, nope, I don't want to do that. I want to focus on the research. I want to focus on um, just moving forward in my own understanding, building community, connecting with people who have love in their hearts and a curiosity that is never ending, and have the stamina and the patience to comb through all of this slowly and methodically over time. So that's what I'm doing here. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any out of body tips for me, put them in the comments, and I'll see you next time with more information on the progress that I'm making and all that I'm learning about the out of body experience. See you next time.